With speculation swirling that Avengers Endgame will find Earth's mightiest heroes traveling through time, there's no telling who they might encounter along the way. No character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe is off the table, so here's a look at some dead MCU characters we might see in Avengers Endgame. Of all the characters in the rich history of the MCU, Brock Rumlow probably wouldn't be voted most likely to return. But the villain known as Crossbones, who first appeared in Captain America: The Winter Soldier before dying in Captain America: Civil War, seems to be making a comeback. Frank Grillo, who plays Crossbones, revealed on the podcast UFC Unfiltered that he is indeed returning in a flashback in Avengers Endgame. Usually Marvel keeps a tight lid on spoilers, but as Grillo explained, I'm allowed to say whatever I want because I'm never doing another Marvel movie. Another character fans expect to appear in Avengers Endgame is Captain America's one true love, Peggy Carter. She's made a number of high-profile appearances in the MCU, from the 1940s through the present, before passing away in Captain America: Civil War. But in 2017, star Haley Atwell stoked rumors of a return to the MCU by posting a photo on social media that seemed to be from the set of Avengers Endgame. Considering Marvel made a point of including her in the first Endgame trailer, it seems possible the fan theory that Cap and Peggy will be reunited may actually come true. One of the most talked about moments in Avengers Infinity War is the scene where Thanos communes with the spirit of Gamora, the adopted daughter he murdered earlier in the film. It was later revealed that, as fans had guessed, the reunion took place inside the Soul Stone, which in the comics is known for storing the spirits of dead heroes until they are ready to be resurrected. So it seems like there's a pretty fair bet that before Endgame is over, Gamora will be reborn, and considering the circumstances surrounding her death, this is one father-daughter dance we don't want to miss. Vision has already been brought back from the dead once through the power of the Time Stone, so we know it's possible. Of course, he was then immediately killed again, but as an artificial life form, even if the Infinity Stones aren't involved, it's theoretically possible he could be rebuilt by Shuri or Tony Stark. One way or another, his love story with Scarlet Witch deserves a happier ending. Like Crossbones, Arnim Zola isn't an obvious choice for resurrection, but we know Marvel's filmmakers have been trying to get him back into the picture as he almost appeared in Ant-Man's 80s flashback. And there are two easy ways to get him in the picture. Firstly, in Winter Soldier, we saw that he had achieved digital immortality by uploading his consciousness to an old computer system. While that was destroyed, it would be super easy to have backups. More interesting, though, is the fact that Zola was alive and active as a Hydra mole inside S.H.I.E.L.D. for several decades after World War II. That would make him a perfect villain to interact with the Avengers if they go back in time, and would also make it easy for his story to intersect with a Peggy Carter appearance. Connect those dots, Marvel. Another character active in the past is Black Panther's father, King T'Chaka. Now that the Avengers know about Wakanda's technological superiority, they could very well contact T'Chaka for help in the past. But we could also see Black Panther himself. After all, we know that the monarchs of Wakanda live on in a spiritual afterworld, ready to guide those who come after. Whether it's Shuri or M'Baku, whoever takes the throne of Wakanda after T'Challa's death may very well visit him in the afterlife. Even in death, the Black Panther protects his people. The Asgardian god of mischief has already spent so much of his time in the MCU dying and coming back. With all the times this greasy little possum has faked out the audience, it's no surprise that Thanos felt the need to declare that Loki would get no resurrections this time. It also means we're not entirely ready to believe him. And he's not the only dead Asgardian who could make a comeback. Every single person in Thor's life is either dead or missing. Having Odin or Heimdall or the long-lost Sif return would finally give the God of Thunder a little hope among all this loss. Speaking of lost families, the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy have been struggling with their ghosts from day one.
Everybody's got dead people. It's no excuse to get everybody else dead along the way.
With most of the Guardians now dead themselves, the stage could be set for some more reunions in the afterlife of the Soul Stone. Drax's wife and child, Peter's mom, Gamora's real parents, they're all possibilities in Endgame. Perhaps the most important lost family in the MCU, though, are Tony Stark's parents, Howard and Maria. Tony's fraught relationship with Howard was the focal point of Iron Man 2, and the circumstances behind their death drove the plot of Captain America: Civil War. Considering many people expect Endgame to be the final chapter in Tony's story, it would be thematically appropriate and emotionally satisfying if Tony and his parents were reunited. Perhaps even more important, though, is the fact that Howard Stark is a co-founder of S.H.I.E.L.D., and thus the spiritual father of the Avengers Avengers themselves. Considering the credits for Endgame strongly hint that some part of the film takes place in the 1970s, it's very possible we may see Howard and Tony Stark team up to defeat Thanos together.
What is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
It got a little tough to keep track of everything that was happening in Age of Ultron. Remember Quicksilver? Scarlet Witch's brother, Pietro Maximoff? He ran really fast and died protecting Clint Barton from a hail of bullets as Sokovia fell from the sky. It's easy to forget though, since even his sister hasn't even mentioned him in the years since his death, but that doesn't mean he's been completely forgotten. With Disney's acquisition of Fox opening the door to the addition of the X-Men and their version of Quicksilver to the MCU, bringing back Marvel's version of Quicksilver might be an interesting and unexpected way to begin that transition into the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No matter what Marvel tells us, we all know that not all of those deaths in the climax of Infinity War were permanent. Heck, Marvel has already announced films featuring a number of dead characters, including Spider-Man: Far From Home, which is slated to open less than 3 months after Endgame. It's not a question of if we'll see the return of Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange, it's just a matter of how. We can't wait to find out.